The Big Three season enters the playoffs, and we are pleased to have veteran NFL sideline reporter and Big Three studio host Kristina Pink to talk about season 2. How you doing, Kristina? Appreciate you coming in.
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
First of all, let's talk about, because I don't know that everybody's 100% familiar with what this is. And I think when they first see it, they say, that sounds like a gimmick, but it's definitely not, is it? Tell us about Big Three.
No, so this will be season 2 of the Big Three, and it caught on like wildfire in the first season, but second season has really grown. And so I think what a lot of people don't realize is this isn't what they think, like old man basketball. These guys, like these former players that are out of the league. I mean, these players come in with so much physicality, intensity. They're playing half-court basketball, and I think it was Michael Cooper during the season described it perfectly. He said it's like street ball in a professional setting. So you see these guys that still have the passion for the game, that are out there playing 3-on-3, half-court, and the pace is pretty quick because they do a 14-second shot clock, and there's no game clock. First to 50 wins, and you see the competitiveness, the fire. The playoffs are about to start, and these guys want to win. Big
weekend in Atlanta, but it's drawing all over the country. Wherever it goes, people are turning out, aren't they?
Yeah, and so every single city, I think somewhere between like 11, 12, I think they're averaging about 13,000 fans per city. And what I love is the nostalgia factor. Every time you go to a city like Atlanta, there's former Hawks players, guys with ties to the city. And so fans come out to see the players that they know and love.
Now, you mentioned former Hawks players, and as I was looking down the rosters of some of these teams, I think, and I haven't confirmed this, but I think there are more former Hawks in this league than perhaps any other team.
I think
Do you
that
think
might
that's
be
the case?
A safe assumption.
Is that a coincidence?
You look down the roster, and you see Mike Bibby, Steven Jackson, DeMar Johnson, Josh Childress, like all guys that have kind of, had a footprint at some point in their career in the Atlanta area. So I don't know if that's by design, by coincidence, or maybe it's just, a basketball kind of mecca here in Atlanta. But you've seen a lot of players that have at some point stepped through.
You know as well as anyone what the atmosphere is like on an NFL sideline and in an NFL stadium. Maybe compare and contrast what the atmosphere is like at one of these events.
So what's cool about Big Three is that the players and even the coaches, because the coaches are stars too, because you have guys like Gary Payton and Nancy Lieberman, Charles Oakley, Dr. J, and so it's very accessible, like they play to the crowd. You feel the energy inside, and it's very intimate, because you see these arenas and you travel, but they feel like they're almost right on top of you, and you can turn and 2 feet away from you is a player that you grew up loving and watching. And so they get very into it, and the players feel that, and you can feel that energy kind of resonate throughout the arena.
And we talked about Ice Cube, just the idea kind of popped in his head when he was in Atlanta watching Kobe play his last game. With him involved and with Clyde Drexler involved as the commissioner, how involved are those guys in the day-to-day part of this?
They're pretty involved. I mean, Ice Cube is involved in all of this, and you feel his passion for it, and from the top to the bottom, and he talks to the media every week and talks to fans and talks to the players and the coaches to see, what works. And obviously in the second season, the league has grown a ton, and that has a lot to do with guys like Clyde Drexler and Ice Cube.
All right, heading into the playoffs, I won't make you pick unless you want to. What do we expect going into the playoffs?
Ooh, don't make me pick. You know what? I think the cool thing about Big Three is you don't know what's going to happen on any given Friday night. Team Power is probably the most complete team in the league, the most balanced, with guys like Katino Mobley and Birdman Anderson that folks remember. But, I think you'll see competitive basketball. I think you'll see, the stars kind of earn their keep. These guys know that this is passionate for them.
Well, thanks a lot. It was fun talking to you this morning. Appreciate you coming in. All right, and looking forward to the playoffs.
All right, me too.
All right, the Big Three playoffs, they are Friday night at 8 o'clock, and you can watch them live right here on Fox 5.
Well, the Falcons will take the field at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this Friday night. Julio Jones hopes to get in some playing time as the team takes on the Chiefs. Jones sat out in the team's first preseason game last week against the Jets. He says he was once a student, but now it's time to be the teacher.
Roddy gave me the blueprint, so it's my time to get those guys the blueprint and to show those guys how to work. And like I said earlier, they take well into coaching. They're not thinking they know everything. They're willing to work, and they want to be the best, and they want to play in this league.
And keep in mind, High Five Sports is back. Join us this Friday night right here on Fox 5 for the first show of the high school football season. We're going big with a roster of 20 games, including our game of the week, Cedartown at Rockmart. That's Friday night after the Big Three playoffs. You don't want to miss it.